challenge is going to be finding parking in Monaco. We've stopped here to pick you up. How you doing?
Good.
You good?
Good to be here.
We've got both the cars, the LT and the 380, and we want to go check out the show. And later on, we're going to be driving an R8 Spyder, the new R8 Spyder, which is very exciting. But ooh, 360 just went past. But before then, we want to try and go to the Top Mark show. We don't have any tickets or anything. We're just going to show up and be like, hey, can we go in? And hope for the best. But we've heard parking is really tricky. So first mission, parking. Okay, well the first car park here is completely full, which is not ideal. There are also a lot of people around. There's the tennis tournament and Top Mark, so we might see some cool cars about. But parking is going to be a mission. That's mission number one. Mission number two is going to be getting into the actual show. Oh well, there are a bunch of spotters around. This is crazy how many there are. This is Top Mark. Look at this. Whoa! It's just spotter after spotter after spotter. That is madness. Hi. Some noise. Okay, well, this is madness. There is a line of people with their cameras. I have rarely seen this many spotters, and this is on the Thursday. What the hell?
Look at that guy's there. Like heads popping out.
Yeah, right? Well, we've managed to just about find parking. I don't know if you can see James's car creeping out here. Mine is just right behind that truck where that man is right now. Where hopefully...
We parked in here stealth mode.
Yeah, we parked super stealth mode. Hopefully no one will see the cars, so we can't get towed. That's our plan. Well, we've arrived at Top Marks, and a surprising new release that we didn't expect. The replacement for the Aventador is here. It looks a bit different to what I expected, if I'm honest. It's a bit more sort of lightweight, yeah, and agricultural, yes, that's the perfect word. If you hadn't caught on, this is all irony and sarcasm. This has a Lamborghini badge on it, but I don't think it's the replacement for the Aventador. Let's go in the show. We've made it into Top Mark, so hopefully our cars aren't being towed whilst we speak. But we've arrived at the show. There's a lot of lifestyle stuff down there, which isn't very interesting for you guys probably, but the cars are up here, and it's always just literally a massive amount of very, very cool cars in a very small area. So I think we should borderline just cue some music, go around, see a few cars, and then after talk to you about some of our favorites. Let's do it. I've got two food things, by the way, which we should use later, but apart from this, there is some interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed all of that artsy stuff of everything at the show. It's not a very big show, so you're going to be able to see probably most of the stuff. You've probably seen, I imagine, most of what's in this show. It's nothing like Geneva where you got like 7 halls and things like that, but I thought I would just show you around some of my highlight cars. And I'm not going to be that interesting. They're going to be pretty predictable, but they're genuinely my highlight cars. First of all, right here, Aventador S, which we saw in yesterday's video, didn't we? And we thought it was absolutely stunning. And in this sort of pearlescent white color, it looks unbelievable. I just think it's really, really nice. I think it's a big step up, more so than I thought I would when I saw the initial photos. So that's my number 1 car. Let's click the number 2. Well, I'm sitting, well, if this is even sitting, I'm borderline lying in my number 2 car. This is something that Josh and I always used to speak about. We always wanted to pimp out a minivan. This is a Klassen Mercedes Viano pimped out minivan, and oh my god, do I want this. I need this at some point in my life. Totally unnecessary, but just so cool. They do bigger vans, but this is, I think, the perfect size. You've got 4 seats and it's so comfortable. There's a TV behind you there. It's all controlled by an iPad. The seat moves all sorts of different ways. There's all sorts of little gadgets. This is unbelievable. These are about €500,000 though, so they are quite expensive. We're talking Aventador and this aren't too dissimilar price-wise, but for your daily life, this would just be the dream. I mean, look at all of this lighting. You got curtains, you got everything, and there's something just about the quality of the leathers and all the materials used in here, which is unreplicated in anything else. So, yeah, big fan. I really like this. So this is definitely in the top 3 right there. And number 3 is going to have to be the prior design C63 AMG S Coupe, which I love stock. But I think they've done a really nice job. It's effectively what they've done from my point of view. We haven't spoken to anyone here. I'll be right back. Okay, anyways, yes, what they've done from my perspective is made this look like the last gen C63 Black Series, which is so cool. So you've got the big wheel arches, and you've even got, if we walk over here, a wing which is kind of similar to what it was on the Black Series, and I think that is so epic. I don't know if they're going to do a Black Series of this generation, but they bloody well should after seeing this. I think it looks really nice. How it drives, what they've done underneath, obviously we can't know unless we drive it, which we can't here because it's clearly in the show and they're not going to take it out, but it looks very cool. And those are my top 3 cars from the show. There's a bunch of wacky stuff all over the place. It's like little minis, flying cars, all sorts of different stuff. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to be back at this show. It's the kind of thing that you can just walk into, 30 minutes, you're done, you've seen pretty much everything. And yeah, we might take out a Range Rover at some point, we're not too sure, we'll find out. But I want to go drive that R8 now, you keen?
Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing. I have got my jacket on because for some reason it's really cold. And we've been given the keys to a bright red Audi R8 Spyder, which is fantastic news. I just drove it here and I really like it. This car, 540 horsepower. I love the way it looks. Some people aren't too sure on the Spyder. I think it looks fantastic. Newly released. This one has the Bang & Olufsen sound system inside, carbon ceramic brakes, and it just looks absolutely bloody marvelous. We've got Runner as well, who is behind in his Capristo R8 Spyder, so you got a bit of an R8 Spyder vibe going this evening. Massive thanks to Jumbo Paul on Instagram for lending me the car for the evening. This one has full carbon fiber all around on the exterior and on the interior and looks absolutely marvelous. But rather than just talking to you about it, shall we cue some cinematics and just show all over the interior and exterior of this car. There's a lot of sun, but we figured what we'd do is, seeing as we have a Capristo R8, which is the same as this one, which has the Audi Sports exhaust, we'll compare the two. So let's start off with a start up and a few revs from the Audi Sports exhaust. Well, that sounds really good to start with, so I'm excited to hear what this sounds like now with the Capristo. I think it's going to be pretty loud. That makes quite a big difference. Capristo have nailed it, but that sounds so good stock already. Rather than just staying here and talking about it, let's get in and drive it. Let's put it straight into paddles, and then on the drive select, it would be rude not to have it in dynamic mode. Let's get going. We're on some pretty special roads. We're going to be in convoy with the other R8, and it should be pretty special. This car is based on the Lamborghini Huracan chassis, and it has the same naturally aspirated V10 with a double clutch gearbox, so it should be pretty impressive on these little twisty roads. We're just going to wait for the Capristo car, Rana's car, to join us. Here we go. I've always wanted to try one of these out and never driven an R8 before, so this should be pretty exciting. Revs all the way to 8,500. It pops on the upshift. The gearbox is so quick. I drove it up here, so I already know a bit what the car feels like. The steering's very light. It feels very hydraulic. Not the most communicative steering in the world, but you can't replace a naturally aspirated sound. That is unbelievable! And it is very, very fast. Faster than my Lotus for sure from a straight line. Four-wheel drive means that on hairpins like these, you can come in quite quickly and carry quite a bit of speed around the corner. The steering is so unbelievably light. This car is a real daily driver supercar, so you could genuinely use this every day. It's got a decent sized boot, linear power delivery, and it doesn't feel intimidating or brutal in any way. We've still got that supercar howl. Wow, this thing. I really like this, guys. I really like this. I don't really see why you would need more from a Huracan. Once you've got this, you have way too much power already. I mean, to use on these roads. Quite communicative, carbon ceramics on this particular one. With all the carbon fiber inside, it feels absolutely brilliant. The only thing I'm not a fan of is this steering. It's really nice in town because it's nice and light, but when you're hammering it, even in dynamic mode, it just doesn't have the feel that you want from a car of this caliber and in this price range. I think we need to turn around and do that road again because that was pretty special. The display is fantastic. You got your speed and revs right there. But when you're just cruising, you can have your sat nav and all of the other information you may want up there, which is that noise. V10s just have such a particular sound. I love it, and this gearbox is instant. The shifts are so smooth as well, you can barely hear them. Wow. It really nailed it. This is a supercar destroyer is what it is. Really doesn't feel too big either on these tight roads. It feels manageable. I really like the brake feel. The gearbox is like you're playing an instrument. This is a good bit where we can accelerate a bit. Fantastic grip from the four-wheel drive. Need any more power. Tight corner here. Grip is good. Yep. This is what it's all about. Top marks. Mates lending you their cars for you to just go and have fun with. And we're back. What an unbelievable experience driving this car on these roads. Massive thanks to Jumbo Paul for lending me this car. My initial impressions, this is kind of like a one-take drive of this car. This is an animal, this thing. If anyone ever tells you that the R8 is not enough of a supercar, don't believe them, because this will put many, many very expensive supercars to shame. Whilst the others have headed off and parked up for dinner, I've come to drop you off. It's been an awesome day. I really, really like this car, apart from a tiny bit of understeer and the steering isn't fantastic. It is a very good car for daily driving. I really enjoyed driving it, so a massive thanks to Jumbo Paul for letting me drive it. Instagram link will be down below if I remember. But yeah, a really fun day. Thank you so much for watching. We've got some really exciting stuff planned for tomorrow too. Yeah, high five. Yeah. On that jolly note, please remember to subscribe. See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Quick cap saving, serenading them hoes. No Juliet.